Hey everyone. Just popping by for a quick Sunday stream, get my memory of the day out, and then just a real brief recap of the weekend, which I'll go over in more detail tomorrow. First off, my memory of the day for each day of my 50th year on the planet. Today is July 26th. It is day 20 of 366. And so yesterday I mentioned the great sushi meal I had at Yellowtail at the Bellagio. Well, that made me think of having to tell the story of just this amazing evening that I got to share with my mother years and years ago. We were at Foxwoods Casino, which I've started to realize at least a number of these memories over the course of the year come from Foxwoods. And there was this special dinner that was going on at Foxwoods that I was able to get two tickets for, one for me and one for my mother. And we were there with, I think, Karen and possibly her mother as well. I feel like somebody else was there, but I don't remember who it was. But they weren't. It was one of those dinners where you're not actually ordering anything. You're just getting what they make for you, and that's not their style necessarily. So me and my mom went to this dinner, and it was just in this big ballroom type area, and they initially had a gathering in a completely separate room that was billed as a cocktail hour, but it was more like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And once you had purchased your tickets, everything was free. All the drinks were free, and all the foods were free, and everything. All the food was not free, but it was all paid for in the ticket. So we went into the cocktail hour, and first of all, we were like, "Oh my God, this is not just a cocktail hour," because they had all kinds of different stations set up all around this hall with different types of appetizers. They had like different kinds of carving stations and specialty drinks, and they had these awesome oyster shots, which were fresh shucked oysters in a shot glass with either vodka or gin and some cocktail sauce, and it was delicious. So we had a number of those and got some carving station stuff. Had a martini or two, and then went into the main dinner area. And it was again one of those things where all the seating is determined by tickets. So you're sitting at a larger table of folks with 8 people to a table, and everyone introduces themselves and get to know each other over the course of the meal. And it was a 4-course dinner. There was an appetizer, a soup, a main course, and then a dessert. But the deal was that the first 3 courses, the chefs for the first 3 courses were Masahiro Morimoto, Bobby Flay, and David Burke. Those were the 3 chefs. And they would come out and speak to everybody, talk about the course they had made, and then after the course they would go around and talk to everybody. So I got to talk with all 3 of them. I actually got Morimoto's autograph there at the dinner, and it was 3.5 hours long. You know, they came out, got you drinks for every meal, multiple drinks. We were a little buzzed by the end of it. Um, Morimoto's appetizer was unbelievable. It was this sashimi and caviar appetizer, and it was amazing. First of all, it tasted unbelievable. but it also when it was served, it was designed so that it looked like the Japanese flag. So you couldn't even tell that it was different sushi and caviar until you started moving stuff around, and you were like, "Oh my god!" But it looked just like the Japanese flag, and it was unbelievably delicious. And one of the people at the table, right, like sitting right to my left, was this elderly woman. Uh, I don't know, how old. Clearly looked like at least late '80s, early '90s. Super nice, super friendly, and was clearly like super rich. Yeah, she had like you know diamonds and was just but was super friendly. Was not all like oh like that at all. She was very friendly. Um, but looked like someone like I kept on imagining. This is the kind of person you would have run into on the Titanic. Like on one of the upper decks and one of the things. It was that kind of style that she had. But she was not at all into the idea of the appetizer. She was just like, oh, I don't know. And everyone's telling her, oh, it's so delicious. Everyone was telling her how delicious it was. And she's like, no, no, I've gone this far in my life, and I'm just not gonna. I don't want, but I hate wasting it. I hate wasting it, because it looks so pretty, and so much effort was put into it. I just hate to see it go to waste. And so I said, after having had a few martinis, jokingly, I was like, hey, if you don't want it, I will eat that. And everyone was laughing. She's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, if you really want it, here, take it, please. And I was like, yes, ma'am, thank you. The check is in the mail. And sure enough, she like slid it over to me. And so I got to eat another one of Morimoto's creations, which was awesome. So it was a great time. My mom, at one point, uh, who was helping me drive the wheelchair about a bit, at one point during the evening, went to reposition me a little bit and pretty much drove me into the table, and the whole table almost tipped over. People grabbed it. Oh! She was like, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" And I was just laughing. I was like, "It would not be if you knew my mom. It would not be a dinner. It would not be a dinner at a fancy place without my mom doing something like that somewhere during the course of the evening." And so she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And I was laughing, and she was like, "Are you okay? Are you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I was like, "Is all the food okay?" And everyone was like, "Yeah, yeah." Everyone was laughing, so it was all good. Mom was all, just shaking her head, but she knew, hey, that's what I do. So that's my memory for today. It was a great, fantastic evening with eating with some of the amazing chefs that I've watched on TV for even back then for years, and it was so worth it. It was so worth it the whole way through. So that's my memory for the day. And now on to a quick recap of today and the overnight. Golf wound up going fairly well for us. We had gone in on Doc Redman and Max Homa. Obviously Redman did not make the cut, so that hurt us. But Homa wound up finishing in the top 5, and really had a chance to push for the lead, but missed a couple of decent, fairly easy putts in the last 4 holes. But so he wound up in the top 5. So him in the top 5, we had a small bet on him for $10, but it paid back like $44. We had a $15 bet on him to be in the top 10. That paid us back $93. And then we had a $20 bet on him in the top 20. That paid us back $100. So overall, we got like $235 back from the golf. Meaning that we cleared about $130 this week on our bets, which covered our um, fantasy golf team and our MMA team for that matter. So that was that. Um, on the KBO side of things, we didn't. We wound up. We entered another 22-person tournament, finished 12th. So we did not get into the double up on that one. I'll run through it more tomorrow. Basically, there were two folks for the dinos that didn't start, and we were hoping that they would. Kim and Mo, and we were only basically 2.5 points out of the money, and so those two positions not starting really hurt us. So there was that, and then just as a quick recap, we did also we had a $12 single entry in the late matchups last night with the two games, the Yankees Washington game and the Arizona San Diego game. And with Washington, we did not go heavy on Washington at all, obviously. But with Washington having scored 9 runs, I thought we were pretty much out of it. It was a 196-person tournament with the top 47 getting paid, but we finished 30th out of 196, which was good for a $25 win on a $12 entry. We wound up going fairly heavy on San Diego. We would have got even a little heavier, but the one first baseman, whose name is eluding me right now, wound up as a kind of a late scratch. We had to scramble and get Jake Lamb in there for Arizona, who didn't do anything anyway. But Manny Machado, who I had mentioned yesterday, was hitting 500 against the pitcher for Arizona. He had a home run. He wound up getting a home run, which was great. And then we had started Myers for San Diego, who was only 3,500. And again, we had said, based on his career against this pitcher, he didn't hit a lot. He was only hitting 200. But of those, of whatever it was, of the 4 hits he had, all 4 of them were extra base, and like 3 of them were home runs. And sure enough, he had a home run. Drove in 3 RBIs and added a walk as well. So we actually, wound up being able to get into the points on that, $25. So that's good. Tonight I did go in and I grabbed a quick, just a showdown for the late game tonight. Because I think there is a contest, an achievement. Total days. Total days playing at least $1 entry in Major League Baseball. So I wanted to make sure I got something in for Sunday. And then there's an Iron Man contest, which is, if you play at least $5 on 65 regular season days, which I played $12 single dollar tonight. So maybe we'll see how far that can go, how far we can go on that. And I entered. Let's see. I entered a lineup for tonight. Basically, I was looking at wanting to try to load up on the Dodgers, even though I know, Giants played fairly well against them yesterday. Was it? But I'm looking at Chris Taylor as my captain. His price is low enough. He's batting fifth. Um, Getting him in there is giving enough opportunity to get guys like Bettis, Turner, Muncy. You need somebody from San Francisco. I think it's hard not to go with Darren Ruff. He's only 4,000, but he's hitting third. Um, so if you're, obviously, if you're going to go the other way and build on, you probably be able to get more of the meat of the order go if you're building big on San Francisco. But I'm looking to load up here on the Dodgers and see where we get from there. But that's it. That's everything. Like I said, I will recap everything in more detail tomorrow. I'm gonna try and make sure I start early enough to get our picks in. The main baseball slate tomorrow kicks off at I think it's 6:40 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, 6:40 p.m. Eastern time. Um, I might start my stream a little before 6 p.m. just to make sure we can get our lineup in. Obviously, there's no KBO tomorrow. Um, and then by the end of this week, we're going to be talking about hockey and basketball too. So let's get ready for that. So take care, all. Keep on having fun. Keep on gambling. Swing by, ask me some questions, and good luck.